Dave Allen versus Lucas Browne is on Saturday, the 20th of April at the O2. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Rapstar Says So. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Let's get right into this one. This is a fight I'm actually very interested in seeing. We've got two dead guys in the boxing heavyweight division going at it one on one to see who can progress. Um, I'd go as far as to say the loser of this fight should retire, but I don't think either of them will. This is a very even matchup, in my opinion. I mean, I know Lucas Browne has only taken one loss, but like realistically, Lucas Browne has only fought one person that could have had a chance of beating him, and that's when he got stopped emphatically by Dillian White at the O2 in front of 20,000 people. I was one of the 20,000 people, and I'm telling you from now, if you thought that drop that you watched on Sky Sports, if you thought it was a big thudding sound, you didn't hear nothing like the sound when you heard that fat cunt hit the ground in live person. Like it was disgusting. That left hook that Dillian White used to put him away. I don't think I'll ever forget that day. And I'm so grateful that I was in that fight to see it live because watching it back on TV, it just didn't give it any justice. You had to see that with your own eyes up in person. Um, it was a good fight, to be fair. Dave Allen versus Lucas Browne, though, it's a good one. I think they're evenly on the same level. I think both of them are like sort of international level fighters at best. Obviously, we know that Lucas Browne is a WBA regular ex-champion who really shouldn't have been given that belt. He actually beat, I think it was Manuel Char or somebody like that, back in the day via knockout, but tested positive. He should have been stripped of the win, and he should never have gone down in the history books as a world champion. But money talks in this game, and he's still listed as a former WBA regular world champion somehow. Dave Allen. Dave Allen is one of those guys. He's probably like the most. How can I put it? Dave Allen is probably like the most badly managed and badly promoted heavyweight out there. I mean, Eddie Hearn did a real number on Dave Allen. He sort of just fed him to the lions and used him as a sacrificial lamb, like he does with a lot of his fighters. Dave Allen was forced to fight Dillian White, followed by Luis Ortiz, back to back, um, for some strange reason that I still can't work out. In his 11th fight, he fought Dillian White for the vacant WBC International Heavyweight Championship, and then about 6 months later, he fought Luis Ortiz in an eight-rounder and got stopped in the 11th. The Dillian White fight wasn't as embarrassing because it went to points, but it was a unanimous decision. I remember watching that one on Sky, and I just remember thinking to myself, how overmatched can one guy really be? And then for Eddie Hearn to chuck him in with Luis Ortiz, who was an absolute killer at the time, it just didn't make any sense. After that, uh, you know, he managed to pick a couple of wins together, and then he went on to face Lenroy Thomas for the vacant Commonwealth title. He lost a split decision to that. Then he faced Tom Dallas and then drew with Lenroy Thomas, and that was basically the end of him. Since then, he's had a few good wins against the likes of Nick Webb, Samir Nebo, and Ariel Baraconte, but this is the one that I really want to see. I think that this is a very sort of evenly matched fight, but in terms of the physicality, you'd have to favour Lucas Browne for having the advantage. Lucas Browne, I believe, is 6'5", and I think he's got a reach in comparison to Dave Allen being 6'3", and um, I believe that Lucas Browne has got a reach advantage as well. Going forwards, I think that this is going to be a good fight, or not a good fight, but I believe it's going to be one of those heavyweight sort of tear ups where you've just got two guys standing in the middle trading with one another, and we're going to see who's got the better chin and who's got the stronger right hand. I don't actually know who I think's going to win. Lucas Browne, he looks terrible against Dillian White. He looked in awful shape. And Dave Allen, he's just been that little bit more active. But I do think that Lucas Browne has got a power advantage. And if he can sort of get behind any what of a half decent jab, he could make it a hard night for Dave Allen. I do think that Dave Allen has probably got better boxing ability. And the major reason why is because, he's been in there. I think he was in Klitschko's training camp for about a week before Klitschko kicked him out. And as he's told us many a times before, he sparred about 300 rounds of Anthony Joshua. That's good pedigree, even if it's only sparring to sort of get underneath your belt. Whereas Lucas Browne, I know that he's promoted by Ricky Hatton. I think he lives in Australia, and he hasn't really been doing much. Um, that stoppage loss that he took to Dillian White, it was a real sort of ass whooping. Since then, he's gone on to fight some people from New Zealand and Australia. Julius Long, Junior Patty, Kamil Solowaski, guys that you've never heard of, just to sort of fill out the record a little bit. But, he is a bit of a bum, to be fair. The record, it sounds a lot greater than it is. 28 fights, 27 losses, one loss for Lucas Browne in comparison to Dave Allen, who has a much worse record of 22 fights, 16 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. Like, Dave Allen's record doesn't exactly speak well of itself. I know Dave Allen's got a 75-inch reach. I'm not too sure what Lucas Browne's reach is, but um, I'd assume it's probably longer than that. The guy is 6'5", but I can't see it anywhere. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Is this the sort of fight that you actually want to watch? I mean, personally, I think that this fight should be an undercard fight. This fight should have been like on like second from main event for like the one just under the co-main event on Dillian White's card. Um, I don't know how many tickets Eddie Hearn thinks he's going to sell, and I don't know how much money DAZN are going to pay to prop up this undercard, but Jesus, boy, does it need saving. I think Eddie Hearn's going to have to pull out all the big stops, all of his usual sort of undercard fillers, your Boetsis, your Acolis, maybe a Craig Richards, maybe Charlie Edwards if you can get him on a fight. But realistically, Charlie Edwards has just headlined a card. He probably got paid a decent wedge for that. Is Charlie Edwards really gonna wanna sort of go and support this fight, and is he gonna want to get back out straight away? I don't know. Um, it's a sort of fight where it's like, I'm going to watch it. It's going to be a half decent Saturday night card if Eddie Hearn can get some decent people underneath it. But knowing me, I'm probably just going to tune in for the main event. I wouldn't go down to the O2 for this one. I'm not a massive Dave Allen fan. I'm not a massive Lucas Browne fan. I mean, if Dave Allen does win, though, I've sort of mapped out a career for him that I think Eddie Hearn should follow. Um, in my opinion, if Dave Allen wins, he should then go on to fight Dave Price, and then the two of them should fight, and the loser retires. And then after that, I think the winner of that fight should then go and fight Nathan Gorman over at BT, and then we can start getting some of this deadwood out of the division. I think that people love to talk about how good and how booming this heavyweight division is. Personally, I think it's pretty shit right now. We've just got a load of overhyped fighters, especially the British ones. So, if we can start clearing out some of this deadwood, get Dave Allen versus Dave Price. If Dave Allen comes through this one, then, get the winner of that fight to fight Nathan Gorman. Um, then we can really start to clear out this division, because we've got a lot of names in the heavyweight division currently, but how many of them are realistically going to make any sort of play at any of those world titles and those world champions? Not many. We've just got a bunch of people sort of propping up the numbers, but none of these guys ain't really saying shit. Anyway, guys, leave me a comment, hit like, hit share. Please subscribe. I know we've got a lot of regular listeners to this channel that aren't subscribed. I really want to grow this channel as high as I can. So I could really do with the extra support. Anyway, that's the end of the show because Remstar says so.